Teachers After Dark.
So y'all know I've been toying around with this whole concept, the idea of Teachers After Dark, like a little spin-off series podcast, so that people will know that we are humans outside of the classroom. And everybody has these expectations of us as educators. But I really feel like we need a safe space to talk about
Teachers After Dark.
What's up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Teachers After Dark. And today, it's just two of us. It's just me and Nikki. Nikki has been MIA for a little bit, so we want to kind of talk to Nikki, see where she's been, what's been going on. And, so what's up?
Oh, man. I have missed these therapeutic moments, like, so much, like being able to laugh and joke. But life hit me, and it hit, like, hella hard. So I've actually been in a hospital for a month.
A month?
Yeah. I've been dealing with my baby. He had brain surgery.
Shit.
And with this surgery, like, you know, we have to be in the ICU. Then from the ICU, have to go to rehabilitation, which, y'all, I didn't even, like, realize that, hey, this is the brain. So anytime you touch and mess with anything like that, you're going to have to go through a process of, like, relearning everything again. Mm-hmm. How to walk, how to talk, how to take care of yourself, how to advocate for your own needs. So it's been a hell of a journey for this whole process. And also, you know, I know we talk shit a lot of times about, like, damn, this teacher shit sucks. Y'all, I realize how bad it sucks when, like, you need for your job to be supportive. I said I've been out for a month, so this is equal to a month of no pay. And it's because of how shady our benefits are. Like, you know, I have a really good consultant that I shall not name, but a really good consultant told me, like, these are all the things you sign up for because you never know what may happen. Somebody may, you know, I got hella kids at home. Somebody then jumped off the banister and broke their ankle, you know.
Yep. Now
you got to go to the ER. Like, all these things can happen. This is why you need to have it. So when it's...
And wait, we're talking about things like all the extra benefits you sign up for besides your health insurance, your critical critical illness, hospital indemnity, short-term disability, all those extra little things that cost us, you know, extra $12 a paycheck, extra $10 a paycheck,
extra $46 a paycheck.
Right. But we buy it for protection.
Yes,
because just in case.
I bought all the things that were offered to me through my lovely district. I bought all the things, and so now that this moment has come, I'm like, look at God. I'm prepared for this because I did the right thing. I'm making responsible decisions. I done sacrifice nails and stuff every month so that I can get all the things.
Right.
And so when it's time for me to use all the things, I get hit with, so that's not how it works. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean that's not how it works? So, y'all, with me saying my baby's been in ICU, he's been hospitalized, we've literally been in the hospital for a month. Mm-hmm. With this little hospital indemnity, it does not count his rehab stay as a part of hospitalization, even though he's still in the hospital.
In the hospital.
Yes. So when I call, because I'm like, hey, I got the paperwork, who do I send it to?
Let's go back to explain to people who may not know. If you have a service like MetLife or Aflac, right, that pays you for things like critical illness, hospital admission, all these little random little things, right? So you have this plan, and they're supposed to pay you out. So with hospital indemnity, let's say you go into the emergency room for whatever reason, and you're admitted. You get a certain amount for just being admitted, and then you get a daily rate of pay for however long you stay there. If you're in a regular bed, if you're in ICU, it's a higher amount because you're in ICU. If you have to do extra things like rehab, speech therapy, whatever, there are all these little bitty intricate things that you're supposed to get extra pay for that's supposed to replace your income or give you some comfort, some cushion while you're going through whatever you got to go through. And they even give the caretaker some policies an extra $50 a day just because you're there. That covers parking, food, whatever.
Because medical center has been kicking my ass with some parking. So, yeah, all of those little...
Right. So these are all the things that you're like, cool, I'm covered.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm covered. Also with short-term disability, you know, because on short-term disability, your paperwork says, like, is this due to FMLA and all of that type of stuff. So in my mind, I'm really thinking I'm good. Then when it comes time to talking to HR, no, short-term disability only applies to you. So I'm like, okay, that sucks because I'm on leave to take care of a dependent. You know, I can't do anything about, like, I can't leave my child in the hospital after brain surgery.
Right.
You're trying to get CPS called on me. So I'm like, okay, that's messed up, fine. But it's okay, I got hospital indemnity.
Right.
So I call my lovely company. Should we name drop?
The company of the carrier?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I call MetLife, and these wonderful representatives, they're like, hey, yeah, we definitely see you are a client of ours, you know. Great, let me help you out. So they start asking me all these questions, and I'm like, okay, so these are the dates that we were in ICU, and, you know, now we're in rehab. They say, oh, wait. So apparently... rehab pay is something that we offer, but your district did not sign up for that. I say, what? Excuse me. I said, no, but we're still in the hospital. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying here. Like, we're still in the hospital. They say, yeah, but rehab is a different service. So now I'm going back and forth with them. Like, no, but we still in the hospital. It's not that he's just here for rehab. Like, it's not, oh, we just over here doing physical therapy. He still has the neurology team here. He still has the epilepsy people here. Like, this is just, you know, in addition to the services that he was already getting. No, ma'am, that does not count. She's like, I'm so sorry. It is something that we offer our clients, but your district did not choose to offer that to you. Then she says, well, you know, what about FMLA? Did you sign up for that?
Bitch,
I said, what do you mean sign up for FMLA? Like, I've never heard of what you're talking about outside of what the district told me about FMLA. She says, oh, no, well, MetLife offers FMLA protection, which would have covered your son, and you could have gotten paid for that. Ma'am, what are you talking about? Because my district has never mention anything like this. So nonetheless, I am now left with a situation where my child is still in rehab he had an additional 2 weeks, and now that is 2 weeks with no pay.
So now a month and 2 weeks with no pay. So 6 weeks, 3 paychecks, no pay.
Yes.
Because the district was not transparent. Now, when you sign up for your benefits and you get your contract and you get all like, here, read all of this stuff, that's nowhere in
it was not
the paperwork. We scoured through afterwards. That was never mentioned. So now it's almost like I gotta cuss y'all out because y'all knew y'all didn't sign up for that. Or when y'all are promoting open enrollment at the beginning of the school year and you say, hey, get this, get that, you don't say, oh, by the way, we didn't pay for the FMLA clause. By the way, we didn't pay for the rehabilitation thing. But go ahead and sign up. We're still going to take your money.
And something so very interesting about that, too, is when I go to said district's website to look at, like, let me see the explanation of the plan, it is very vague. It is very, like, we just hurry up and made a Google slideshow to just say, like, these are the prices, but you don't get to see all of the exclusions. You don't get to see fully what's covered. And so with me doing my Googles, I'm looking at other districts who have posted and they provide some transparency. And I'm like, well, ain't this some shit?
Wow.
So that's where I am with that. Like, life has been hell dealing with, you know, I have other kids as well, paying for parking, paying for food, now trying to damn pay to live.
Right.
It's tough. And I just really wish that all of this information would have been presented clearly so that I knew what I was going into. You know, the surgery was going to happen no matter what, but, you know, make some other preparations just so that life could go on with ease instead of now me sitting here scrambling trying to figure out how we gonna make something shake.
Right. And fast, because your other kids have needs. You're still having to go back and forth to the hospital. Let's talk about that and talk about these days and these sick leave banks and all of these things.
Oh, jeez.
Because I made a video and I kind of casually mentioned your situation, right? And so many people, remember we did an episode a long time ago on the regular podcast about checking your teacher privilege, right? How just because you have all these great things that happen to you at your district doesn't mean that everybody else has them in their district. And if I say, hey, in this district or where I work, we don't have ABC, don't come back and comment and say, well, in my district we do.
Right.
Where's your union? And I'm like, dog, I'm so tired of telling y'all we leaving in Texas and it doesn't work like that.
Exactly. And that even all districts in Texas are not created
equally, because some people get bereavement leave, some people don't get bereavement leave. So with you guys in your district, in order to even qualify for FMLA for yourself, because you've been out of work,
right?
So you have to have some type of job protection, so they're not writing you up for just not being at work. Right. Now that doesn't mean it's paid. You have to go through all of your days. We only get a certain amount of days.
Exactly.
And what people fail to realize too is when you do have kids, your days are almost always going to be used on them.
Always.
Because they get sick, they get this, they get that. So we come to work sick as dogs, holding on to our days for when they asses get sick.
Exactly.
And so now when you have a medical emergency come up, you use the little last 5 or 6 you have, and now I'm out of days. But I can't leave my baby at this hospital because he had brain surgery. And so now here we are. So now we have this thing called the sick leave bank. Now, some districts operate their sick leave banks differently. When I worked at HISD many moons ago, at the beginning of the school year, you give up one sick day, and you get 30. Right?
Oh, wow.
So you put it in a bank. It's a gamble. You may use it, you may not. But at the beginning of the school year, you have until a certain day to give up one of your sick days. And in the event something happens to you and you need to pull, you can pull 30 from those.
Wow.
If you don't use it, you lose it, right? Because it goes into the bank. Cool. So when I went on FMLA, when I had my daughter, so this is how long ago it was. I had given up a day. So I was able to pull 30 more. When I ran out of my days from being on maternity leave, then I had 30 more.
You were good.
I was good. Now, here's the downside to that, right? When you talk about short-term disability. Because I technically wasn't out of days.
Oh, you couldn't
I couldn't collect my short-term disability, which is, I get that. You can't double dip, right? Yeah. So I had to wait until I was done with those 30 days to now say I'm out of days.
Okay.
I need to collect some disability or some kind of payments or whatever. Now, where you are, how does the whole sick bank thing work?
Oh, gosh. Okay. So, again, I'm going to say I really feel like my district dropped the ball with transparency because they're not transparent initially about how the whole even donation, sick bank, how all of this even works. So, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I work with some really supportive people that they're like, girl, we got you. Like, we'll tell us, send us some links, do whatever, we got you. So I email, district HR, like, hey, this is the situation. I filled out some paperwork. How can I go about getting my name on the list so that I can share? Y'all, I'm hit with like some real dry answers like, well, did you do this first? And I'm like, well, no, I didn't, because I didn't see it anywhere.
Right. There's no guidance.
And so I asked, like, can you please tell me what the steps are that I need to take so that my name can be on the list? Y'all, this lady replied and forwarded my email. And in the reply, it just said, can you please help Nikki?
Damn.
So I'm like, oh, okay. Now, the next person who picked up was super helpful. Like, okay, have you filled out your FMLA form? I'm like, okay, I didn't do that because FMLA is not paid for us. Right. So I didn't think that was necessary. Okay, well, you need to do this. Now, after this, you need to have been absent for 5 days before anybody can donate something to you.
Wow.
So no matter what, they're telling me you're going to be short some money.
Yeah.
You need to be absent 5 days. You already need to have utilized all of your days previous to those 5 days. So they're saying we want 5 days of you getting nothing.
We want you in the -5.
Yes. Then we will add you to this list and people can donate. Now, there's also restrictions on the people that can donate. When she explained that, a person can only donate 1 day at a time. In addition to the 1 day at a time, you can only donate once per year.
I'm sorry.
So if you had another friend who had an emergency, it don't matter if you got 100 days in the bank. I can no longer donate to you. You're done.
Wait. So that person, let's say for instance, I gave up one of my days at the beginning of the year because one of my friends went out on maternity leave. Mm-hmm. I gave her a day, so I can't give anybody else a day.
You're not giving nobody else a day.
Shut up.
Nobody else is getting a day from you.
Shut up.
You've used your one and you're done.
Even if I have 80, I'm sitting on 80.
Thank you for your services. Thank you for your services.
You shut up.
So now that means that, like, of course I said, I have some supportive people that I work with that are like, we're willing. So now we got to go down a list of like, hey, but did you donate to so-and-so? You know, because if you did...
And if almost all of your circle donated to that friend at the beginning of the year that went out on maternity leave, none of your circle can give you a day now.
Yes.
So now you have to bank on strangers. So it's not necessarily a bank. It's not a bank like HISD's is a bank.
No.
So it's really like a friends helping friends or coworkers helping coworkers.
Yeah.
If I like you, if I know your situation,
yes,
then I can donate something to you.
And then now it's almost like, because since you talked about maternity, let's say you have like, 2 or 3 friends that ended up pregnant, for the school year. It's like, hey, which one of y'all do I like
one
the
of y'all?
most?
Yeah. Because I can only give one of y'all a day.
Yeah.
So even to make a check, you'll need, 10 friends to give up a day each pay period?
Yes.
For you to keep a paycheck. Now, if you don't have that, they're still covering your benefits. So now you go into the negative.
Exactly.
People didn't understand when we start talking about the negative, how teachers end up in the negative. And this is how you end up in the negative.
Right, because I'm already not getting a paycheck, but the district is still going, all of those benefits and all of them
They're
extras,
still going to cover them.
They're still going to cover them. So now I'm in the hole for even when I do get a paycheck, it's you owe us
Get my money. They're like a damn payday loan.
Yes.
Snatch my shit back.
And they're going to recoup it like as much as they can.
Until your contract is over.
And so that means, and they recoup it a whole check at a time.
Ooh.
So it's not like they say, hey, you owe us $2,600 because you were out this long. We'll break it up so that we know you got to survive.
Right.
We'll take 25% this time, 25. No, they take your whole paycheck until you're clear. So if you left with $26 after they didn't recoup their money back, then that's
your problem.
$26.
Now, not that this should matter, because I know it doesn't matter, but your baby who had surgery is also a student in the district that you teach in
said district, and now we are navigating some other issues because talk about a single mom being punished because child cannot go back to school. Child will now need to receive homeschool privileges through the district.
Homebound? Is that homebound? Okay.
Yes. Well, who's going to be there with them? Who's going to stay home so homebound services can exist? I can't stay home because I need to go back to work to take care of.
So now be in the negative.
To have a home for homebound services to actually exist. So said district will only service the area in which we reside. So I can't be at home, I do have a lovely support system of family who they're like, hey, he can come here and I will, I'm here all the time. Teacher can come here. No, we can't do that because that's not within our district boundaries. But he's a student. But you can't travel over there because that's not within your boundaries.
So he literally has to be at home. And you literally need to be at work with him.
Oh, yeah. I need to be at home with him.
But you also need to be at work.
But I also need to be at work.
So you can have a paycheck to keep paying for your home. Also, because of how medically fragile he is at this moment, and I'm sure he's going to be for a good little while until he's fully recovered, I don't want to leave him. Period. I don't even want to go. I remember one night you were like, damn, I need to run. You tried to run home to do laundry or something for the other kids, and he had a medical emergency while you were gone.
Yes.
And so now you freaked out to even go downstairs and pick up your DoorDash from the people.
Exactly. Like, I've literally been depending on people. Like, okay, hey, if you're coming, tell me what time you're coming so that to visit us, so that I can schedule the DoorDash. So that when you walking up,
right,
I need you to wait in the valet for the DoorDash person, and you bring
my Chick-fil-A upstairs with me, because now he eating good.
My baby is eating good, y'all. Like, he's getting all types of, like, boy, you have fresh fajitas. Like, the tortillas is still warm. Like, it come with a sizzling cast iron. I'm like, wow. Oh, like, you're really getting fed.
And they don't feed the parents.
And I'm sitting there like, can a nigga borrow a fry? For those of y'all that don't get my reference, it's the Boondocks, y'all.
Okay, so we had another teacher. Well, first of all, I think a lot of us, I've experienced living at the Children's Hospital for a month with one of my kids before, when they were ill, and it's a miserable existence. And then most recently, one of our other, Sasha Fierce, had a preterm labor. And so she ended up living in the NICU for like 6 months, okay? But she was able to take advantage of the Ronald McDonald House, right? Where you could go there and sleep and shower. And oh my God, shout out to the Ronald McDonald House, guys. Because even when I would go visit and give her some relief, right? The lounge, I call it, like, it's a parent lounge, right? It's stocked with so much stuff. Like, so many people donate to those families. HEB comes and drops, shout out to HEB, comes and drops off fresh food and stocks the refrigerator. It's coffee, everything is stocked there, right? Now it's a little walk, right? Yeah. But if you know, okay, you talk to the nurses or the social worker, like, hey, I'm gonna be up here, I'll be here at 8 o'clock and I'm gonna leave at 8 o'clock. I'm just gonna sit here for 16 hours or 12 hours with my child, and then I'm gonna go to the house, because you have to sign your name up for the Ronald McDonald House every day, right? Yep. Now you can't take advantage of that because
I have to actually physically be in the room
because
of how medically fragile this situation is. Like, that's why they have it fully equipped. Hey, you have your bed in here. We have a refrigerator here, like right outside of the room. We have a little basket for you to put your stuff, because with his particular situation, he's under 24/7 monitoring. And of course the nurse can't physically be there inside of his room 24/7. They're looking at monitors. I have to be there to make sure, hey, is he having a seizure right now? Because this presents itself differently in different types of kids. So I'm there 24/7.
Girl. Oh, I always tell you, dog, you a soldier. I could never ever be. But if you're listening, Teachers After Dark patrons, we want to try to figure out a way to help Nikki with some parking, help Nikki with some because they don't even cover your food.
No,
girl, you are out here bad.
Yeah,
in the negative 6 weeks for the check. Yeah. So we gonna put this out there and sprinkle the universe, hopefully, and get you some support, something that we can give you some reprieve. I know you're looking at another 2-3 weeks up there with your baby, so which means another 2-3 weeks without a paycheck. So now we're looking at 6, 8, 9 weeks without that you're gonna be in the negative. I can't even say without a paycheck, because you're gonna be you got to sell some ass. You gonna have to sell some ass to pay your mortgage. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you surely is a pretty little yellow thing, so I think you're gonna be all right.
Oh, y'all, Rich my phone is so crazy. Oh my God,
you is a pretty little yellow thing. I think you're gonna be all right. But no, we gonna get you, or try to get you as much help as we can get you to help you out. Cause shit, these districts be. But see, this is the type of shit that people need to go to the school board and talk about. The school board meetings and talk about, right? And it's not even on no bashing them type shit. It's transparency and making you aware. Yes. Like, hey, if you think you're signing up for benefits and you think ABCD, study, do your research, ask these questions, because so many people don't even know the questions to ask. Right. Because even when we were doing all that, never in my mind would I have thought to say, hey, can you ask them if they have a clause for rehabilitation if your child is in the hospital and has to go? Because now they essentially check your child out of the hospital and put them in the rehabilitation section, even though he's still under 24/7 monitoring, observation, in the hospital, but it's not considered hospitalization.
Exactly.
That's bullshit.
It really is. And so another thing before we go is, I was looking at, because we had talked about before, like, okay, but since you said technically we're not in the hospital anymore, this is not a hospitalization, can I start my claim now? Because technically we've been discharged from that section. So the form that they require from the hospital, when I called the hospital billing department, they said, I can't give you said form.
Because you haven't been discharged.
Until he's out of the hospital. And I said, no, but they said we're not in the hospital. They said, no, baby, you are still a part of this service. We can't close out your case.
Hey, MetLife, we need to call. You know what we finna do? We finna get on Chatiana and start drafting some emails to send to the president and all the higher ups at MetLife. Because this sounds like, even you would think that even a company like MetLife, Aflac, would have said, hey, we noticed that you signed up for D service. Just to let you know, your district didn't cover ABC. We can offer you a supplemental policy.
Oh, yes.
That says whatever. That would have been nice for them to do their due diligence as a corporation to let you know. Because, hey, just let you know you're not fully protected. Just like with your car insurance. Hey, you got this, but you ain't get this. Just let you know if some shit pop off. Don't call us, or we can offer you this policy for an additional blah, blah, blah. I would have gladly fucking paid another $30, $40 a paycheck if you're going to tell me it was going to cover me throughout all of this time.
Exactly.
So,
you made a valid point with that.
Let's do that. Let's work on that. Let's work on Chatiana and send us something to MetLife. But anyway, in the meantime, we are definitely going to try to put something out there and try to get you as much assistance as you can. With help with you and then help with your babies. Because you still got other children that you need to look out for as well.
Yeah.
Single parent. Damn, that's fucked up. So we're gonna do that. But thank you for talking to us. It's glad to see you. Yes. I know you popped in. You popping in periodically to hang out with the crew to get you some socialization. So we appreciate that.
Shout out to my amazing family and friends. Like, when I tell y'all, I don't know how I would be standing. Like, I have survived so much from y'all this year. Like,
okay, you getting teary. We don't do that gay shit.
Okay,
all right.
Cut me off. All right.
You know, we don't do that mushy shit. So we'll see y'all next time on Teachers After Dark.
Teachers After Dark.
The goal of Teachers After Dark is to provide entertainment and stimulate creative discussions. It should not be construed as an accurate portrayal of the personal lives of all educators. Any similarities to real persons, living or dead, or actual events are purely coincidental. While the identities of the participants have been protected, the narratives may be based on real events and emotions. Some segments and discussions on Teachers After Dark feature content derived from anonymous emails sent in by listeners. These messages are solely read by the podcast host for entertainment and discussion purposes only. Please note that the podcast host may not necessarily agree with or condone the actions described in these letters. The content is presented to generate conversation, share diverse perspectives, and provide entertainment. For full disclaimers and disclosures, please visit the legal section of our website at www.ridgemontforestfinance.com.